6TR, the bright side of Staffordshire.
I was born in the 70s, and the massive show which graced my TV set most weeks was Rainbow, and I'm very, very happy to be chatting to, I could say, one of the stars, Ronnie Le Drew. Hello there.
Hello. Well, thanks for interviewing me. It's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we've got you to Stoke on Trent today to meet some of the fans, and you've brought, from said show, you brought Zippy with you.
I have indeed, yes. He was one that was made in about 1975. I'm afraid to tell you, everybody, that there was more than one Zippy made, but don't tell your friends, will you? But anyway, I've got him, and we've had a great time so far. It's been lovely. Yeah.
What does he do on these days off, Zippy, when you've got him at home?
He lives in a suitcase. But because I want to try and keep him as clean and well looked after as possible. So, but I mean, he appears on quite a few things. He was on the telly thing just recently on the Nightly show. Can you believe? Just a tiny little extra. So he's still doing stuff on the box. I mean, it's extraordinary.
He's a superstar. I think he's pushed George into the back, into the shadows to get to the forefront himself, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He was always like that, though.
Well, he's cheeky. He's a know-all. He knows everybody. He knows everything, and hence he's got the zip. He's zipped up if he talks too much. Thank God for Jeffrey.
So, is that the correct word for your profession, a puppeteer?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, basically, a puppeteer is somebody that works an inanimate object, so it can be a teapot, and if you're working it in a character, it becomes, you're a puppeteer, sort of puppeting it. So, yeah.
So, but you've got a healthy pedigree in puppeteering then, and a great CV, including some films and TV shows.
Absolutely,
let's talk about a couple of them.
Okay, well, I suppose people love Labyrinth, which is a really iconic movie, which, when it first came out, actually probably didn't do all that well, but when it came out on VHS and then latterly DVD, it's become
a cult classic,
a totally cult classic. My latest film that I've worked on is Beauty and the Beast, the Disney, which I did a bit for the CGI, which is computer generated stuff, and that was the character Lumiere, who is actually all those sort of smaller characters are CGI, but they wanted to have a puppet to actually, it's quite interesting. I mean, I don't know anything about computer generated stuff really, but what happened was I had candles on my marionette on each hand and one on his head, like Lumiere has, and every time the candle light moved across the puppet's face, it lit it a bit brighter. Now that was the difficulty they found with the CGI stuff. It's getting the sort of flickering right or whatever. So they included a puppeteer, because I thought perhaps when CGI came in that puppeteering would go out through the back door. No. But in fact, it's still used a lot. In fact, a lot of directors prefer it to actually CGI work. Star Wars, for instance, they've, I know friends of mine, who've worked on the new movies, and they're using puppets as much as possible. The new character, I've forgotten his name, the little ball and
BBH.
BBH, thank you. And he was puppeteered most of the time. I mean, a few bits were CGI.
I think they had to, really, for
because there's no soul in the CGI
because I know a lot of people didn't like when they added the CGI to the original trilogy in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So I think they've had to bring it back for those people.
Yeah, I think that's right. But also I think directors think there's no soul in the CGI stuff. It's all very clever and it's absolutely perfect. But with a puppet, even if it, we all make little mistakes or little quirky things, and that makes it alive. And so
it's like the analog version.
Absolutely.
But it's been going back to Rainbow, and you also did Sooty and Sweet. We say Sooty instead.
Sooty, I like. It doesn't matter to me.
Not Sooty. You've been in children's homes all your life, and like you say, you never stop working, and up to date, like you say, Beauty and the Beast now.
Exactly. I mean, I've been terribly lucky. We hopefully there'll be a film version of Sooty and Sweet next year. I mean, fingers crossed if it all works out. So I shall be putting my hand up. I hope that's the correct Sooty, doing a bit of Sooty operating. So that's nice.
I used to love when you saw his feet.
I know.
The little wellies.
Yeah, they were lovely. And that, of course, we just put our hands in and they just filmed at the bottom bit. But,
and it's a family affair, isn't it? The Sooty thing.
Originally, it was Harry Corbett who bought it from the original puppet from Blackpool Pier, for 7 and 6 months in I think 51 or something, and then he put it onto telly in 1952, and it's still on telly now. But then Harry was taken over by Matthew, because Harry had rather a serious heart attack, and that's when I joined.
Yeah, that's how I remember it, as Matthew in the 80s.
That's right. Well, Matthew took over because he was one of the singers on Rainbow. I mean, it's all sort of funny, isn't it? And so Matthew said, look, Ronnie, come and do Sweet, because he used to do Sweet for his dad, and so I took over doing Sweet for a bit. But then the producer of Rainbow and Sooty sort of said, look, I think you should have a break. I thought, I'm having a break, I'm doing something very different. But they thought, no, you'll be working too many, you'll be too tired to carry on doing it. Anyway, so I only did about 3 series of Sooty and Sweet, but I've kept in touch with Corbett and latterly Richard Cadell, who's been great. So.
What about the people from Rainbow? Jeffrey, of course.
Yeah, Jeffrey's around. He's not been terribly well lately. He's got a bit of emphysema and stuff, so he's not doing as much acting as he used to do. But I think he does the odd thing. He was on a quiz programme on BBC Two about last year, and I've forgotten the name of the programme now, isn't it awful? But I think he came second, which was quite good. So he's there. We had a lovely reunion of 2 years ago, I think it was, at the old Thames Studios, which sadly now is just a horrible bit of mess of ground. It's all been taken away. But a lot of camera guys, producers and people, we all met, hadn't seen each other for about 25 years, 30 years.
Unfortunately not with us anymore.
Well, that is sad, yes, indeed. So, but the ones obviously around, we sort of met up a bit. There was about 400 of us. It was amazing.
I don't know if it was fake news, but from Rod, Jane and Freddie, wasn't Rod and Jane a couple, and now she's with Freddie? Is this true?
It was absolutely true. Basically, Jane and Rod were a couple to begin with when they joined the programme, and then when Freddie joined, there was a bit of romance going on with Jane, and it was already sort of slipping away with Rod. But they've all remained best of friends. But it is, and just literally, I think it was last year, Jane and Freddie married.
I thought
properly. I mean, they've been living together for years. And I do actually see Jane and Freddie usually about once every 2 years, and I saw them last year, and Jane looks amazing still. Freddie looks a little bit older, but my goodness, we're all getting a bit older now. But Jane does not change, and she's had no work done.
Oh, no, yes.
I mean,
it must be working with children. It must keep you effervescent and fresh.
She's healthy, she keeps herself
Finally, I've got to ask about that Rainbow episode, the one that's become a YouTube sensation. It's shared online. They called it Rude Rainbow, but you were there for that, weren't you?
Yes, I was. It was 1976, and it was for what we call the VTR people, the people that recorded the programmes, and it was supposed to be just their little competition, and they used to sort of get people's bloomers, I'm going to say, not bloomers, but boopers, all the rude words occasionally that came out of sort of newsreaders or whatever. But the Rainbow one, we did it sort of like schoolboy humour, and we did it after one of the programmes we recorded. We had a bit of spare time, and it actually won the VTR competition. It's like a competition, and they loved it. And then, of course, eventually, and because it wasn't going to be shown publicly or anything like that, well, then, as years go by, YouTube comes up. I think it was shown actually originally on a late night Channel 4 programme, and I think people,
because the people who haven't seen these loads of double entendre.
Oh, absolutely.
Loads of that style of humour. But it's brilliant.
Zippy would go, 1, skate 2, skate 3, skate all this sort of rubbish. And Jane with her knockers, and Jeffrey playing with his balls. And of course, they were lovely rounds.
Yeah, of course they were.
And I mean, if a little kid saw that, would be perfectly would think it was a normal Rainbow.
Zippy swangers.
Exactly, absolutely.
They always make their own instruments. And things,
absolutely.
But I just love the innocence of Rainbow. It was just like the puppets and the interaction. Bungle was always wore his shorts in the summer, but wore nothing the rest of the year.
And yet he was naked for the rest of the. I mean, all that. And George and everyone thought George is a little bit. I'm going to say gay in the old term, but I mean, of course he was. I always say, well, he just loved dressing up. He's too young to know anything about sort of, all that side of things. But Zippy, of course, was to know all the, and sort of, loudmouth, and hence the zip to zip him up when he was, over the top too much. Thank God for Jeffrey, keeping the house in order.
Well, Ronnie, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Lovely. Goodbye, George here. Bye.